Hana woke before her alarm, heart racing with the memory of last night, the kiss, Ayame's hands in her hair, the promise that everything would change. She touched her lips, still able to feel the pressure of Ayame's mouth against hers, still able to taste the desperation and longing that had poured between them. Tomorrow, everything changes. Well, tomorrow was now today. Hana dressed with extra care. A soft cream blouse with delicate buttons, a dusty rose skirt that swished around her knees. She left her hair down, the way Ayame had run her fingers through it. The subway ride felt eternal, every stop an eternity, every moment bringing her closer to seeing her again. When she entered Sato Corporation, the lobby looked the same. The elevator rose with its usual mechanical hum, the 15th floor buzzed with its Monday morning chaos. But everything felt different, because now Hana knew what Ayame's lips felt like, knew the sound she made when Hana's fingers had gripped her jacket, knew that beneath all that ice was fire burning just as desperately. She sat at her desk, trying to focus on her computer screen, her heart doing acrobatics in her chest. At 9:15, Ayame walked through the floor. Their eyes met. Ayame's steps faltered just for a fraction of a second. Her silver eyes darkened with memory, with heat, with the ghost of what had happened between them. Hana felt her cheeks flush, her breathing quicken. Ayame's lips curved into the smallest smile, private, intimate, meant only for Hana. Then she continued walking, professional mask back in place. But Hana had seen it, that crack in the ice, that moment of warmth. Everything had changed. The day passed in a haze of stolen glances and charged moments. Ayame passed Hana's cubicle more frequently than necessary, each time finding an excuse, a question about a report, a comment about the presentation, a simple acknowledgement that felt weighted with meaning. Each time, their eyes held a second too long. Each time, Hana's skin warmed. At lunch, Hana sat with a few other junior employees in the cafeteria. They chattered about weekend plans and office gossip, but Hana barely heard them, because across the room, Ayame sat alone at a corner table, ostensibly reviewing documents on her tablet. But every few minutes, her eyes would lift, find Hana, hold her gaze for 3 heartbeats before returning to her work. It was maddening, thrilling, dangerous. "Earth to Hana?" One of her coworkers waved a hand in front of her face. "Sorry, what?" "I asked if you're going to the company mixer on Friday." "Oh, I don't know." "You should come. It's a good way to network. Plus, open bar." The coworker grinned. "Who knows? Maybe you'll catch someone's eye." Across the room, Ayame's jaw tightened, her grip on her tablet turning her knuckles white. Hana bit back a smile. By 6 o'clock, most employees had left. Hana stayed at her desk, ostensibly finishing a report, actually just waiting. She didn't know what she was waiting for, just that she couldn't leave yet. At 6:30, her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. 16th floor, side entrance, now. Hana's heart leapt into her throat. She grabbed her bag and took the stairs, didn't trust herself in the elevator where anyone might see her flushed cheeks and racing pulse. The 16th floor was dark except for emergency lighting. Hana found the side entrance, a small hallway that led to a private stairwell, rarely used. Ayame was waiting. She'd removed her jacket, her white shirt sleeves rolled to her elbows. Her hair was down, falling in that perfect black waterfall. She looked less like a CEO and more like just a woman who'd been waiting. "Hi," Hana whispered. "Hi." They stared at each other, suddenly awkward despite everything that had happened last night. "I couldn't stop thinking about you," Ayame admitted quietly. "I couldn't stop thinking about you either. This is going to be difficult, Hana, hiding this, pretending during work hours. I know. People will talk if we're not careful. I know." Ayame stepped closer, her hand lifting to cup Hana's cheek. Are you sure you want this? It's not too late to... Hana rose on her tiptoes and kissed her. It was answer enough. Ayame made a soft sound against her lips, pulling Hana closer, one arm wrapping around her waist. The kiss was slower than last night, less desperate, but somehow more intimate, like they were learning each other, memorizing each other. When they broke apart, Ayame rested her forehead against Hana's. "We need rules," she murmured. "Rules? For this. For us." Ayame's thumb stroked Hana's cheek. "During work hours, we're professional. No one can know. Not yet." "Okay." "After hours," Ayame's voice dropped lower. "After hours, you're mine." The possessiveness in her tone made Hana's knees weak. "And you're mine?" Hana challenged softly. Ayame's smile was slow and devastating. "Yes, I'm yours." They kissed again, deeper this time, Ayame's fingers tangling in Hana's hair the way they had last night. Hana's hands slid up Ayame's arms, feeling the muscle beneath the soft cotton shirt. "Come home with me," Ayame whispered against her lips. Hana pulled back slightly. "Your home?" "Yes." "Ayame, are you sure?" "I've never been more sure of anything." Silver eyes burned into hers. "I want you, Hana, not just stolen moments in empty offices. I want..." She paused, vulnerable. "I want to be with you, really be with you." Hana's answer was another kiss, this one full of promise. Ayame's apartment was exactly what Hana expected. Minimalist, elegant, expensive. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Tokyo, sleek modern furniture in black and white, art that probably cost more than a car. But there were also unexpected touches. A bookshelf full of well-worn novels, a blanket draped over the couch that looked soft and comfortable, a small collection of teacups on a shelf that seemed delicate and personal. "It's beautiful," Hana said softly. "It's lonely," Ayame corrected, setting down her briefcase. Or it was. She turned to face Hana, and suddenly the sophisticated CEO looked nervous, uncertain, human. "Would you like some wine?" Ayame asked. "Sure." They moved to the living room, sitting on the couch with glasses of red wine. For a moment, they just existed in the space together. No hiding, no pretending, just two women trying to figure out what they were doing. "I've never..." Ayame started, then stopped. "Never what?" "Done this. Brought someone here. Let someone..." She gestured vaguely. "In." Hana set down her wineglass and turned to face her fully. "Why me?" "I don't know." Ayame's laugh was soft and self-deprecating. "You smiled at me in an elevator and something in me just broke. Or maybe woke up. I'm still not sure which. Can I tell you something?" "Anything." "I was terrified of you that first day. Everyone said you were cold and ruthless and scary." Hana reached out, taking Ayame's hand. "But when you looked at me, I didn't see any of that. I just saw someone who looked surprised, like no one had been kind to you in a long time." Ayame's eyes shimmered. "No one has. That's sad." "It's safe." "Is it?" Hana squeezed her hand. "Because you look pretty scared right now." Ayame laughed, a real laugh, slightly broken. "I am terrified." "Of what?" "Of how much I want this, want you." Ayame set down her own wineglass. "I've built my whole life on control, Hana, on keeping people at a distance, on never letting anyone close enough to hurt me. And now? Now you're here, and all my careful walls mean nothing." Ayame's voice cracked slightly. "What if I mess this up? What if I'm too cold, or too damaged, or too..." Hana cut her off with a kiss, cutting off the spiral of fear. "You're not too anything," she whispered against Ayame's lips. "You're exactly enough." Ayame's control finally broke completely. She pulled Hana into her lap, kissing her deeply, desperately. Hana's hands threaded through her hair as Ayame's slid up her sides, over her ribs, barely restrained. Hana, Ayame breathed between kisses, tell me to stop. Why would I do that? Because if we don't stop now, I don't want to stop. Ayame pulled back slightly, her eyes dark and intense. Are you sure? Because once we cross this line, I'm sure. Hana's hands framed Ayame's face. I want you, Ayame, all of you, not just stolen kisses in dark offices. I want this, us. Something shifted in Ayame's expression, the last of her resistance crumbling, replaced with naked want. Then come with me, she murmured, standing and offering her hand. Hana took it. Ayame's bedroom was simpler than the rest of the apartment, soft gray walls, white bedding, minimalist furniture. But the city lights streaming through the windows painted everything in gold and shadow. They stood at the foot of the bed, facing each other, the weight of the moment settling around them. Ayame reached out slowly, her fingers trembling slightly as she unbuttoned the first button of Hana's blouse. We can stop, any time you want. I don't want to stop. Another button, another. Ayame's knuckles brushed against Hana's skin with each one, leaving trails of heat. You're beautiful, Ayame murmured. So are you. Hana's hands moved to Ayame's shirt, returning the gesture. Each button revealed more pale skin, more vulnerability. When they finally came together, skin against skin, it felt like coming home. Ayame was gentle at first, achingly so, as if Hana might break, but Hana urged her on, showed her she wasn't fragile, wasn't afraid. And Ayame let go, let herself want, let herself take, let herself be vulnerable in a way she'd never allowed before. They learned each other slowly, every touch, every kiss, every gasp and sigh mapping new territory. Ayame discovered that Hana was more passionate than her gentle exterior suggested. Hana discovered that under Ayame's ice was fire that had been waiting years to burn. Afterwards, they lay tangled together, Hana's head on Ayame's chest, listening to her heartbeat slow. Stay, Ayame whispered into her hair. Tonight, stay with me. Okay. I mean it, Hana. I don't want you to leave. Hana tilted her head up, meeting those silver eyes that looked softer than she'd ever seen them. I'm not going anywhere, she promised. Ayame's arms tightened around her, and for the first time in years, she allowed herself to believe it might be true. Hana woke to sunlight and the smell of coffee. She was in Ayame's bed, wrapped in expensive sheets, her body deliciously sore in ways that made her blush. Last night had been everything. She found Ayame in the kitchen, already dressed for work in tailored black trousers and a crisp white shirt, her hair pulled back. She was making breakfast, toast and eggs and coffee. Good morning, Ayame said, and her smile was soft and genuine. Good morning. Ayame crossed to her, pressing a gentle kiss to her lips. I have clothes you can borrow, and I'll drive us to work separately. You first, then me 30 minutes later. Reality crashed back. Right, we have to hide this. Ayame's expression tightened. For now, until we figure out how to handle it properly. How long is for now? I don't know. Ayame took her hand. But I promise you, Hana, this isn't just some secret affair I'm ashamed of. I need time to figure out how to do this right, how to protect both of us. Protect us from what? From the board, from corporate policies about workplace relationships, from people who would use this against us. Ayame's thumb stroked across her knuckles. I won't let anyone hurt you because of me. She could see the fear beneath the words, the genuine concern. Okay, she said quietly. We'll do it your way, for now. Thank you. They had breakfast together, stealing kisses between bites of toast, and for a brief moment it felt normal, like they were just two people in love, not a CEO and her intern navigating impossible complications. But reality waited outside the door. Arriving at work separately felt wrong after waking up in Ayame's arms. Hana went to her cubicle, trying to focus on her tasks, trying not to replay every moment of last night in her head. She failed spectacularly. At 10 o'clock, Ayame walked through the office, surrounded by her usual entourage of assistants. She looked every inch the ice clean again, cold, composed, untouchable. But when she passed Hana's cubicle, their eyes met for just a second, and Hana saw it, the warmth beneath the ice, the memory of tangled sheets and whispered promises, the truth that lived between them now. Ayame's expression didn't change, but her step faltered almost imperceptibly. Then she was gone, and Hana was left with her racing heart and the secret burning in her chest. This was going to be harder than she thought. At lunch, Hana was called to a meeting with HR. Her stomach dropped. Did they know? Had someone seen them? Was she being fired? But the HR manager, a kind-faced woman named Sato Tomoko, just smiled. "Don't look so worried, Mori-san. This is just a routine check-in. How are you finding your first few weeks?" "Oh, good. Really good. Excellent. I understand you've been working closely with CEO Sato. That's quite an opportunity." Hana's heart hammered. "Yes, she's very professional." "Indeed. Now, as part of our compliance procedures, I need to ask, have you experienced or witnessed any inappropriate workplace relationships during your time here?" The irony was almost painful. "No," Hana lied, her voice surprisingly steady. "Good. As you know, we have strict policies about relationships between supervisors and subordinates. Such relationships must be disclosed immediately to HR and typically result in reassignment to eliminate the power dynamic." "I understand." "You sure do. Just remember, if anything ever makes you uncomfortable or if you witness any policy violations, our door is always open." Hana left the meeting feeling sick. Reassignment, disclosed immediately, policy violations. Everything Ayame had been worried about was real. That evening, Hana waited until the office emptied, then went to Ayame's office. Ayame looked up from her computer, her expression softening immediately. "Hi. We need to talk." Concern flashed across Ayame's face. "What's wrong?" Hana closed the door and told her about the HR meeting, watched as Ayame's expression shifted from concern to resignation. "I was afraid of this," Ayame said quietly. "So what do we do?" "I don't know." "That's not an answer, Ayame." "I know." Ayame stood, running a hand through her hair in frustration. "Do you think I don't know that? I've been trying to figure this out all day." "Maybe we should just tell them, disclose the relationship like they said." "And then what? You get reassigned, we don't work together anymore. We barely see each other except after hours. And even then, people will talk. The intern who slept her way to the CEO's attention." The words hit like a slap. "Is that what you think people will say?" "That's what they will say, Hana, whether it's true or not." Ayame's voice broke slightly. "I'm trying to protect you." "By hiding me? By treating me like some dirty secret?" "That's not what—" "Isn't it?" Hana's eyes filled with tears. "Last night you made me feel like I mattered, like we mattered. And today you can barely look at me. Because I'm trying to keep us both safe." "Maybe I don't want safe." Hana's voice rose. "Maybe I want to be with you without feeling like we're doing something wrong." Ayame stared at her, chest heaving, clearly fighting for control. "I need time," she finally said. "Time to figure out how to do this without destroying both our careers." "How much time?" "I don't know." "That's not good enough." "It's all I have right now." They stood on opposite sides of the desk, the same barrier that had always been between them, now feeling more solid than ever. "I should go," Hana whispered. "Hana?" "I need to think. We both do." She turned toward the door. "I love you." Hana froze, her hand on the handle. Slowly, she turned back. Ayame stood behind her desk, looking more vulnerable than Hana had ever seen her. Her silver eyes shimmered with unshed tears. "I know I haven't said it. I know this is a mess and I'm handling it badly. But I love you, Hana. That's real." That matters. Hana's heart cracked and mended simultaneously. I love you too, she whispered. That's why this is so hard. I know. Promise me something. Anything. Promise me you'll fight for this, for us, not just protect it. Ayame moved around the desk, closing the distance between them. She cupped Hana's face in both hands. I promise, she said fiercely. I will figure this out. I will find a way for us to be together without hiding. I just need time. Hana nodded, leaning into the touch. They kissed, soft and sweet and full of promise, before Hana finally left. Ayame sat alone in her office long after Hana left, staring at her computer screen without seeing it. She'd spent her whole life being strategic, calculating, always 3 steps ahead. Time to use those skills for something that actually mattered. She opened her laptop and began typing, researching corporate relationship disclosure policies, precedents, legal protections. There had to be a way. By midnight, she had a plan. It wasn't perfect. It would require transparency she wasn't used to, vulnerability she'd spent years avoiding. But for Hana, she'd do it. She'd do anything. Her phone buzzed, a text from Hana. I believe in you. In us. Ayame smiled, a real, genuine smile that no one was there to see. She typed back, tomorrow we start fighting, together. Outside her window, Tokyo glittered with possibility. The Ice Queen had melted completely, and she'd never felt more alive. 3 weeks later, the conference room was packed. Board members, HR, department heads, all waiting. Ayame stood at the head of the table, Hana beside her, not behind, not hidden, beside her. As you know, Ayame began, her voice clear and strong, I've called this meeting to address a personal matter that requires formal disclosure. Murmurs rippled through the room. Hana Mori and I are in a relationship. The murmurs became gasps. Ayame continued, her hand finding Hana's under the table. We have consulted with legal counsel and reviewed all corporate policies. Miss Mori will be transferring to a different department under a new supervisor to eliminate any conflict of interest. We are disclosing this relationship in full compliance with corporate policy. One of the board members cleared his throat. Sato-san, while we appreciate the disclosure, you understand this is highly unusual. I do. And you're willing to accept any professional consequences. Ayame's grip on Hana's hand tightened. I am. This company is important to me, but so is she. Silence filled the room. Then Tomoko from HR spoke up. Actually, I think this is a good example of how to handle these situations properly. Full disclosure, appropriate reassignment, maintained professionalism. I see no issues as long as the proper protocols are followed. The board members looked at each other, then nodded slowly. Very well, the chairman said. We'll process the transfer. After the meeting, Hana and Ayame stood in the hallway, both slightly shock-shelled. We did it, Hana whispered. We did it. They couldn't kiss, not here, not yet, but their hands remained clasped, fingers intertwined. No more hiding? Hana asked. No more hiding, Ayame promised. And for the first time since they'd met, they walked through Sato Corporation side by side, together.
The end. Just kidding. More episodes are on the way. Let me know in the comments if you want this story to continue all the way to 10 episodes. Lots more drama to come.